I work as a freelance artist within the city and outside the city. I make artwork, I make photographic work, I make photo montage work, I make animation work, and I do performance work where I'm not a performer but I work with other performers to create kind of like immersive cabaret and theatre events. So photography is really collaborative. My kind of animation is a bit collaborative, but I can just sit at a computer and like work on that, so I do enjoy that. And then the sort of the theatre performance events are really collaborative, so they're very different. I just love doing all of it, to be honest. I've always been an arty person, always been into drawing, and I went to college when I was 17, and I did a course for 4 years, which I enjoyed the course. I enjoyed being at college and stuff like that, but it was kind of that thing where you fall into something and you're not actually sure that it's the thing you want to do. It was called Exhibition and Museum Design, and it was quite sort of industry based. So I enjoyed the whole thing of being at college and sharing a house and living with people and stuff like that. But then when I left, I didn't want to get a job in the industry. So I sort of hung about in Hull, had a market stall, did hand-painted t-shirts, sold those, made a living out of that. So I've always kind of like been able to make a living out of my art, really, creativity. And then I had a son, and I went back to college after my son was born and started doing photography, which I'd always been into but never thought of myself as a photographer. Got into that. And then ended up going to art college again, doing a fine art degree in MA, and then ended up in teaching. I was a teacher at Hull College for 12 years, and then took redundancy. I slowly built up my own practice, and then I was doing half and half. So I was half a freelance artist and half a teacher, which was really great. That was brilliant. But then redundancies came up at Hull College, and was the opportunity to get a bit of money to sort of like fully jump into the freelance art world 2 years ago now, and I did that. So I've been fully freelance for 2 years. It does help. The more versatile you can be, it helps, but then also you need to be good at stuff. So spreading yourself too wisely, not particularly good. I found that being versatile has helped me, and particularly using sort of technology has really been really helpful. So the photography, computers, using stuff like Photoshop and like Premiere video editing, learning all that kind of stuff is really, really useful because it's really transferable. So it's really good to make your own work, but then it's also good for other people to get you to make work for them. So you get commissioned, or I work for, say, somebody who designs publicity for theatres and stuff like that. So then they're like, can you do this, can you do that? So, and a lot of the work that I've got, the reason I started building up a freelance practice, started making my own work, exhibiting it, and then people think, she could do that, so it's like I'm very much of a thing of like the DIY. If you want to do something, go ahead and do it, make it happen. If you think you've got a good idea, try and work out how to do it in your minimal tiny little budget that you might have, or nothing. Just ask for favours from friends and things like that. Make the work, and then people see it, and then you start to get, that's the way it worked for me. And then people might ask you to do something then. Yeah, I mean, like 2012, when I first started doing this sort of photography work, I had an exhibition in Fruit, and there was this band called the Guillemots. They were sort of, I think they'd won the Brit Award and things like that, Mercury nominated. And the singer from that was in Fruit doing a gig, and he saw my work and he bought a piece, and then he got in touch, and I ended up doing their album cover. And that was weird because it went from me just asking friends to dress up to being in London with the Guillemots, them all dressed in fancy dress in a garden in Notting Hill, and I just thought, what? How did this happen? I think the more work you have out there, the more you make. You have to make it. You've got to make it. If you haven't made it, it's like people have really great ideas. I think that's about creativity. A lot of people have really great ideas, but then they sort of put themselves off it because they think, somebody else's is better, or somebody's already done that, or and that's what I used to be like with students, is don't worry about that, because you make it, because yours will be different, because it's you making it and not them. Even if it's like, I had an idea but I saw somebody else did it, it's like, but the thing is as well, it's like getting stuck in that rut of talking about what you're going to do. But I think just start making stuff, and sometimes you've got to make bad stuff to make good stuff. So you just keep making, you keep learning as you're making, but don't be scared of it. And the thing that you've got to do as well is look at a lot of stuff, take a lot of stuff in, you know, imbibe it, see what you like, build up your own kind of cultural kind of taste, you know. So look out, you see anything that looks interesting, go have a look at it, or an exhibition, or, you know, something on, I don't know, on YouTube, or somebody's work, find a bit about, you know, Instagram's great for that, isn't it? Finding out work, you know, work by other people, that sort of thing. You see a lot of people who make stuff, but they're kind of like, they don't have much confidence, you know. I can look at it and think, that's amazing, but they're like, oh, I don't know, it's like, it is really good. And it's like, how do you jump from, that idea of self-belief, you know. And I think for me it was starting to put stuff on walls, you know, exhibit, like have a purpose to where is it going to go, what's going to happen, and then you start to make it, and then you start to get feedback, and then, so I think having a challenge, that's why college is good, because you get briefs, don't you? So you get briefs, you have to work to the brief, so it's working out how you can, you know, who can give you that sort of like challenge to do something, or can you challenge yourself, or look for maybe competitions, I don't know what it'd be, but it's like having something to work towards. But then once you've got that brief, then you start getting inspired for it. I mean, if I was at college and there was a project on a certain theme, I would get students to look at something like Pinterest to start with, and just start looking at pictures, because they might get a brief and think, oh, this is really boring. It's like, how do you get excited about that? So you start looking at stuff that's out there, and then that can start to inspire you. And look at a different art form. So if you're a photographer, maybe look at illustration or fine art or film. You know, if you're an illustrator, look at photography, or, you know, so look in different places for different stuff, so you're not generically copying something. Some people, you might get inspired by coming to the park, or talking to somebody, or go see a band, or go to a festival, you know, just experiences inspire you, don't they? First things I did was I started an art club on Facebook called the Bluebeany Art Club, and it was once a week, and I was inspired by Noel Fielding's art club, so it was pre-Grayson Perry's, which was amazing as well. And it was just this idea, what I did was I set a brief, or set a theme, and then I made and this is what Noel Fielding did as well, made a Spotify playlist, which is really the thing, that was like 2 hours long, so you could just put the music on and make some art. And I did that on I think it was the first weekend of lockdown, to Noel Fielding's, and it really helped me. It made me feel like I've got a bit of joy out of a couple of hours, you know, and I made a piece of work and I really enjoyed making it. I thought, well, you know, this is how I can do it, I'll do it like this. So I just set up this, and we did it for 11 weeks, week by week, and people dropped, and, you know, some people did it, some people didn't, and all it was like, I set a theme, I did a Pinterest board of ideas, I encouraged people to make art in any form it might be. Some people made a sound piece, someone wrote a song, you know, like there was photography, photo montage. It was, and the thing about lockdown is, where's your art materials, what have you got, you know, so you're just looking, it's like anything, whatever you've got around the house, use that. And that was really fantastic, and people just uploaded the work week by week, and then I've got it all on my website, so you can check it out. And somebody said one week, they were like, thanks for this, you gave my day purpose. When she joined in somebody I know, she had a really bad day, had a bit of a breakdown in Heron frozen foods, you know, just not a good time. She hooked into the art club and had a really nice time. And she said, oh yeah, it gave me purpose. And I was thinking, that's what it's done for me. Look for stuff that you're interested in. Stuff like I you know, have an Instagram that's purely, and a Facebook, but Instagram's particularly good, useful. That's just put my artwork on it. That's really great, because you can start to see it in a timeline. You start to see your work together, and you start to see it exist, you know. Don't make work for an audience, make work for yourself. What are you interested in? You know, what do you want to make? Don't worry about what other people think of it. That's what Andy Warhol said. Don't worry about what, just make it, and then just see what happens. I think a lot of making stuff is that worry that other people are going to think it's rubbish, but people love creativity. How many times do you see somebody make something and it gets like, you know, everybody's like, oh, that's amazing, it's amazing. People love it when people make things. So don't have the fear, get rid of the fear. Just start to think about what you want to make, and if you're not, you know, think about, you can be creative, but you don't have to draw, you know. I used to draw a lot, I don't draw now. I use like collage, cut things up, stick it back together again, look for different types of methods that you want to do, and get good at something, you know. Digital technology is, young people are good at digital technology anyway, aren't they? But it's a really good thing to get to know the programs, you know, the programs that you would use in a design office. So like Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere, After Effects. If you can learn how to use those, you don't have to know everything, just mini projects, and everything is on the Adobe tutorials as well. And if you're a student, you get 80% off, so you get it for nothing. And if you're at college, you probably get it for free as well, because you can kind of download it through the college system. College is good. Look for a course, you know, if it's not the right one, move to another one, but try and stick at a course as well. I think don't drop things halfway through, you know, keep going with them. But I think make stuff, don't worry about people not liking it, you know, talk to people, find people who you might be able to have a mentor or something like that. You know, if anybody wants to get in touch with me, I'm absolutely fine with that, if I can help out at all, you know, because you just sort of scrabble your way through it, but then you learn a lot in the way. So, but yeah, don't have the fear, make stuff, yeah.
We must protect our NHS We must see sustained forms in the death rate. We must see sustained and considerable could define test. We must protect our NHS. We must see sustained forms in the death rate. We must see sustained and considerable forms could do. I stress could. I stress could, because although we have a plan, it is a conditional plan. And since our priority is to protect the public and save lives, we cannot move forward unless we satisfy the 5 tests. We must protect our NHS. We must see sustained